opening night in the association. The NBA kicks off tonight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I got lots to talk about today. Let's go to the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Company 2. We're joined by the host of the Buddy Martin Show, also the main man at GatorNationMedia.com. What's up, buddy?
I'm busy studying my NBA notes right now, okay? Can't be about it, yeah, Shane, it was a good show last night. You made some really good comments. I thought about it this morning. It's really a power.
I don't even know what I said, buddy. Tell me.
I just want to talk about what you said regarding your evaluation of the team. And I think one of the main points you made was,
if you're thinking about buying solar panels, don't.
Billy,
the U.S. government will literally buy them for you
now,
if you
I've
take 60 seconds to answer a few questions below.
You
Hi
kind
there.
of remain neutral, but
if you were a homeowner in America and you wouldn't mind
team,
saving a couple $1,000s on your electricity bill this year, then you're really going to love what the U.S. government has just announced.
When you stop and think about
you see, a few days ago, the U.S. government released a new stimulus program with the goal to encourage as many Americans as possible to go solar and that way contribute to a healthier planet. And they're giving away brand new solar panels and a Tesla Powerwall to ordinary Americans at no cost to you or your bank account.
So your point was well taken.
As they said,
if you're going to criticize Billy, give him the credit, and I give him the full credit for that Kentucky win. And it was significant, and because now, Shane, not only does the season look different, I don't know what they'll do in the end, if they'll get there to 500 or not. I think they got a chance. But the fact is they beginning to turn it around, to see what we thought was there. And the young talent we have been blessed to be able to watch. You don't get a quarterback and a running back like these two guys very often. That's generational. So I just want to make that point. I've been around a long time, seen a lot of ball, seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the fact is, right now, it's a special time in Florida football.
Yeah, for sure. Getting a lot of messages here about technical difficulties. Zach, if you're there, apparently there's some commercials running, so turn them off. Can anybody give me a thumbs up or say that, or is it still running? Anybody let me know? Okay, it's off, I think. All right.
I had last night, Shane, I had the same problem, the gremlins.
Well, I don't know. I think it was I think you had internet problems. This was just something that was running in the background. Speaking of ads, we have had to add a few more spots because so many people wanted to be a sponsor. This program, thanks to all our listeners, has blown up more than we ever thought. So if you have a business or know someone interested, we did add a few more spots. Reach out to Freddie Wiebe. I think his number is on there, or email the program. They'll take care of it.
Right. And by the way, I wanted to ask a question, if I might, whether you're getting the same kind of reaction I am about football and the gambling aspect of it. I'm not a big gambler. I mean, I made bets in the past in my life. I won't say I didn't. But it seems like a massive amount of money is being bet. I saw some staggering numbers about the TV ratings. Now, what happens, excuse me, is that the interest in the games is there because of the great football being played. And that you should credit Greg Sankey for the wisdom in seeing that this great new SEC, and now the interest is at all-time high. I think the 93 of the top 100 programs since last year or in football is huge, it's big, and so it's here. I mean, it's here. It's going to be interesting to see. I might put a bob down or two myself, Shane. You never know.
Yeah, well, that's been going on for a long time, but now that it's legal in a lot of states, not all the states, but here in the state of Florida, you can. And the National Football League promotes it as well, because you can bet on anything. You got all the fantasy football, all that stuff. So it's just the way of the world in today's world. All right, buddy. Back to the game against Kentucky. Obviously, I feel like the last three games. I mean, I can't even go back to the Mississippi State game from an offensive standpoint, not so much defensive, but it's like Billy has called a different game, in my opinion. Starting at Mississippi State, UCF, Tennessee, and Kentucky. I said in your program last night, it's almost like Billy's like, you know what? My back's against the wall. Everybody wants me fired. I'm going to go down swinging. And if he continues calling games like that, the Gators have a chance. Now, defensively, we've gotten better, but the next four games are going to be a different animal because of the offenses and quarterbacks we're playing. But do you see anything different in the way Billy has coached the last 3 or 4 games, buddy, in your opinion?
I do. I don't want to say a hint of desperation, but there's some of that. Let's go for it. Let's do it now. I'm disappointed. I don't know if it was the right thing to go for two or not against Kentucky. It felt like maybe that was their chance. I mean, Tennessee, that was their opportunity to make a statement there. That was a generational thing. If they win that game, now it's a whole different. I'm not sure about that call, but I do think he has been more aggressive. And I like the fact that he's chosen to throw the ball over the middle. A lot of coaches I know won't throw the ball over the middle. And the way his quarterback is playing and the arm strength and the quick release he's got, he's fearless about getting rid of the ball over the middle, has changed his package. You've been crying out and asking them to throw deep for a long time. Now they're doing it. And the incredible statistics of 7 receptions. And what was his average per reception?
It was like 30 something. Now that's not, now look, don't send me a bunch of texts and emails here, but that's not going to happen every game.
Didn't say that. I just want to see it happen once.
No, I'm saying that. I'm not saying you did. I'm saying that's not going to happen often. You just don't see that at any level. It was a phenomenal night.
The threat of that, just the threat of having that. You know that when you throw that deep ball, the threat of the deep ball changes the way the defense plays.
I mean, I sound like a broken record on here, but the easiest throw in football is throwing it deep. That's right. Because you don't have to think. There's no thinking. There's zero.
As you point out, it's a safe pass.
It's so safe. It is so safe. I'll never forget when I was coaching, if my starting quarterback got dinged up, the very next play when the backup came in, we threw deep because all the dumbasses on the other side think you're scared to do that. Well, they're not going to let him throw it. Well, throwing it deep is probably safer than taking a shotgun snap and handing it off. So, yeah, it's here's the like I said, here's the thing that it doesn't concern me, but let me get to some of these texts. Here's a text from Jimmy. He says, "Buddy, I listened to your program last night. A few weeks ago, you were ready to run Billy out of town."
I was. I said that. Yeah, I admit that. You haven't been reading my columns. I've talked about that.
Well, tell Jimmy how to find them.
Go to GatorBaitMedia.com and join, like the rest of the people who are there. And we're not like one of these big box sites where we get thousands and thousands of people. We're a boutique, and we write for a special audience. And I wrote about it 2 times. Wrote about it. Freddie Weeby also sent out a memo a couple of weeks ago about how this is time to rally around your coaches and stuff. I went back and said, I'm going to check my own attitude. So I talked to 2 Gator fans who were very knowledgeable. I said, tell me what you think. And they made very good cases for the fact that there was some good stuff here enough to warrant, hey, let's watch it closer for it. So I backed off of that. And I said, okay, I'm willing to give them another chance. I didn't see how it was going to happen. But who did see when they played against Tennessee so well, you get a chance to go one or two ways. You get angry and mad because they didn't win it, or you can say, hey, there's something good there. So I changed my position on that. So let's wait and see. And I was a little bit more wait and see kind of guy, and I got rewarded like other fans who did. And I've said, Billy probably has little or no chance of having a winning season. But now I'm beginning to see, looking at stats, looking at teams, these teams coming up are beatable, Shane. And you point out the home field advantage. This is a time when the Swamp has to be a part of this. They've got to beat one of these teams, LSU or Ole Miss, to get to that number. They're going to be the FSU. So if they get to a 500 position, that's really all we kind of ever hope for this year. So, yeah, I admitted it. I wrote it, said it. I was critical. A lot of people were critical. So don't come to me now, jump on the bandwagon and say, well, where were you? I was like everybody else. I was disappointed. And I said I was. And now I've said I'm giving the guy a chance.
Stacy's letting me know here on Facebook. Now the video is out of sync with the audio. Okay, I'll let the producer should know that now. I have nothing to do with that. I just turn the show on and go. Reggie on Facebook.
Been brutal.
Reggie on Facebook Live wants to know, brought to you by Melon. Why aren't we seeing Mizell and Hawkins? Don't want to lose these guys in the portal. Look, I mean, I get it, but the way Badger and DK have played, I mean, they're not going to get on the field right now. Derek wants to know what changed the defense. They had to change the play call. No, same people. Derek, here's what I will tell you, and take this for what it's worth. It's my personal opinion. The defense has played better, but we have played 3 quarterbacks in the last 3 weeks that are god awful throwing the football. I don't know how else to put it. That's my opinion. We will not see that the next 4 weeks. You will see the 4 top quarterbacks throwing the football in the SEC.
Those
If
guys
we
have
play well
struggled
there,
too now. Some of those
what's
guys
that?
have struggled. Some of those guys have struggled at times. Those
I
top
didn't say they
quarterbacks.
didn't struggle, but they're the best
Yeah.
quarterbacks in the league.
No, they are. But look at
Yeah.
Georgia's first half,
Yeah, Georgia put 30 something on
Well,
Texas in the first half.
I know, I get that, but Georgia has struggled at quarterback position some. But he
Well,
played great.
I agree. I mean, look, I think everybody that has any football sense will tell you that Carson Beck, Jackson Dart, Garrett Nussmeier, and Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning are damn good players.
Yeah, they are.
With great offenses. That's where I'm going with this. Kentucky is god awful on offense. Tennessee is okay at times, but their quarterback is so up and down. I mean, he hits 1 out of every 15 throws. I mean, it's just
Not very good. He's not very good.
And UCF could not throw. So I'm taking nothing away. I'm just being honest. People want to argue me. That's fine. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm just telling you what I see.
I agree with you, but I think there is hope to steal one. You steal.
Well, there's a hope to win them all.
Well, I know, but you know, and I know. We talked about it last night. You weren't willing to play along. I asked all the other guests.
No.
If you had to put $1,000 on one of those 4 teams that Florida could beat, you kind of leaned in a little bit, but you weren't willing to say it. I think there's beatable teams there. I think Ole Miss is primary. Now, I thought their defense was suspect, but I went and looked it up. Their defense has got some good numbers, so I don't know. I don't know who it'll be, but if they get one more win and beat FSU, they're in the postseason. That is a successful season.
Yeah. Wolf Gator says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Shane, I agree. UK QB missed a few passes again. It makes it look easier when they consistently miss. Said, yeah, he was terrible. I'm sorry, but Brock Vandergriff is one of the worst 5-star quarterbacks I've ever seen. Now I know why he never got on the field at Georgia. Tony says you have to watch the games and not just look at the numbers, referring to this team lost to that team. I agree. Every game is different. All right, a couple more texts here. Daryl says this is the Titan MR text. Georgia is a different animal. They can turn the switch on at any time. I do agree with that. This is from 941. It says Shane, with the new deep ball threat with DJ at QB, maybe they will put 4 or 5 wide packages in during the off week with a wrinkle the next. I doubt it. No way. We have played about 30 something games under Billy Napier. We have never gone 4 wides or 5 wides. I don't see it happening. I would love it, but I don't see it happening.
The tight end guy.
Yeah. We'll get to this text and then move on. We can all say that going for 2 would have been the right decision now that the games in the past when we lost. We have to give the coaching staff the benefit of the doubt on that one. If he was in desperation mode, I think he would have went for it. I don't have an issue with not going for it. So yeah, that's what Sports Talk Radio is for, to second guess or question certain things. Silverback Concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it, we stand by. We got Buddy Martin here on the Titan MR hotline. Buddy, I guess moving forward, here's what I wanted to say, because I think I said this on your show last night, and a couple of people have mentioned it. What do I think was the difference in the Kentucky game? The lines of scrimmage. We have been getting our butts kicked by Kentucky and other SEC opponents for a long time. We won the line of scrimmage on O-line and D-line last Saturday night. That's why I thought we were successful. Yes, we hit big plays. Yes, we got a bunch of turnovers. All that's great. But the bottom line is the interior big fellas whipped Kentucky's big fellas. And in my opinion, that's what was the most impressive thing to me.
I agree with you with one exception. You can win the line of scrimmage if you 3 yards in a cloud of dust every time, and you can't make chunk play yardage. Doesn't do you any good. The difference was the chunk yardage with that.
Well, the lineman ain't got nothing to do with throwing the ball down the
Well,
field.
but they do have something to do with the fact that they can do it better when they have good blocking. My point is that one that can't have one without the other. If you go out there and try to beat them on defense and play slobber knocker football and run the ball every time out and don't throw the ball deep, as you say, then you're going to get a different result. This team looks like it could be a lot better, and it is a lot better. So, yeah, you're right. The offensive and defensive lines did, special teams not so much. But you're right. It was big, but you have to have the chunk plays.
Yeah, chunk plays are great, but again, when we turn around and hand the ball to our tailback and he's able to hit the hole and get 3, 4, 5 yards, that
No
means we're
doubt.
winning at the line of scrimmage.
Something to do with the tailback, too.
So let's get to this day in sports. Brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Puts the star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. In 1939, NBC becomes the first network to televise a pro football game. You know who played in that, buddy? Any idea? In 1939?
Colts and the Giants.
It would have been the Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Philadelphia Eagles 23-14 at Brooklyn's
Actually, I
Ebbets
do remember
Field.
I wasn't around. I didn't cover that. But no, who knew it would become this kind of game, right? Who knew? With the unbelievable amount of money being made in this game. Unbelievable. I
Yeah,
watched some of your Manning cast last night because you talk about it so much.
it's so
Uh,
good.
it's good places. Yeah, I like it. Now, there's some things, if you're patient, you want to hear someone talking football, it's terrific. Ed Reed was interesting last night, if you watched him, a guy you don't hear much from. And they give a guy a chance to talk, and they give him a respect. So it's different. It's a place for different things. And
Well, when Belichick's on with them at the beginning of the show,
I
it's
missed
so
that.
damn it's so funny.
Yeah.
Those guys crack me up. This is a text from Robert in Fort Myers on the Titan Our text line. He said, like you mentioned yesterday, Kentucky's defensive line refused to adjust to our unbalanced O line from time to time. That helped us tremendously. Yeah, I don't know what the hell they were doing. I don't know if I've ever seen that in college football where they didn't adjust. But good for us, bad for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, Mark says Norm Van Brocklin was Buddy's generation.
Well, it actually wasn't, but I didn't follow it when Matt Rockland played, but I know who he was. I remember as the coach of the Falcons, and I know from reading and seeing clips, he was a hell of a quarterback. I don't mind saying I saw football back in the day. I don't mind saying I saw football in Florida for a long time as well. And we talk about things like how good is Jaden Ball. I can tell you, I go back a long way, the running backs in Florida. And I know they've missed on running backs before. And this is a guy most of you never heard of, but Tommy Shannon, who was a guy that was playing first string when Coach Spurrier came along, tells me to this day the best football player he ever saw at Florida was Larry Dupree. Who's Larry Dupree? Most of you don't even know.
Larry Dupree was a running back here.
Not just a running back, he was a great running back. I saw him in high school ball. I saw him in a play where he scored 3 touchdowns, Shane. He was playing against Stark, who had a good team, and the Clinton came in there, and Dupree scored 3 touchdowns. On one of them, he was knocked out completely cold. Got up, was carried off the field. 2 plays later, back on the field, ran for 63 yards for a touchdown. And Florida was not recruiting him very hard until late in the year when Georgia got interested. They finally got him. I love me some Larry Dupree. He was a great player. So, but Florida almost missed on him. So, yeah, I have a little context because I'm older. I've seen great players. I was so glad to see the 84 team get its props and see them march on the field. It's really good. I didn't cover that team. France Beard covered them a lot. I was working in New York. So you have to have a little context. I know Shane Matthews. I remember when he wasn't playing. I remember when John Reeves had him on the B squad, or what do you want to call it, when the scout team, he made his mark on the scout team and wound up being the guy that Steve Spurrier picked. So, yeah, it's nice to have a little context once in a while.
Yes, for sure. It just went away here, but somebody just asked, do I think DJ Lackway is the future of Florida football? Yes, he is going to be the future. Here's what
Hello, is the Pope Catholic?
Right, but here's somebody that sent a text yesterday after the program. I'm going to paraphrase it because it's extremely long. talking about this is from Bob. I don't know where Bob's from, but Bob says basically, I know everybody's excited about DJ taking over the football team. However, do we still think that Billy Napier is fit to run the Florida football
Let's
program?
don't get ahead of ourselves. Let's don't get ahead
Well,
of ourselves.
hang on. Let me finish the text. He says, I know everybody's excited about DJ and says that we must keep Billy to keep DJ. But people remember, DJ's only going to be here another 2 years. We got to look at the body work of the football program and not worry about one player. What do you say about that, buddy?
Okay, fine. Look, I'm happy right now where I am with what I saw on the field. I saw the two guys I thought had great promise. You know that, Shane.
Yeah.
Get on the fan. Sometimes it takes an injury for a guy to get discovered. Remember Wally Pip, etc. And so I'm happy with the progress. I don't expect this team to go out and go win a big bowl game, but I can't stand 3 years of watching a team just never get it done, repeating the same mistakes, making special team mistakes, and not being well coached. And they have not been well coached. I don't know what happened. I asked this question last night. How does it happen? How does a team suddenly go from being crappy to being pretty good? And I wrote that in my column yesterday. So things can happen. There's no doubt what I call the tan death march is going to be tough, but they got a chance. Shane, that's all you ever wanted. Your coach at Florida told you, give us a chance. And they got a chance now to go out and make a way for themselves. Is Billy the coach? I don't know yet. Let's wait until we get there. Like you said last night, let's play it down to the end of the year and make that decision.
Yeah. And I'm glad everybody's excited. I mean, hell, I picked us to go 8-4, 9-3.
Yeah.
But why I'm hesitant right now is because we haven't beat anybody worth a darn. Now they're on our schedule. You got to play them, but we've beaten 3 teams that have losing records. That's all I can say. I will be really watching the next 4 weeks to see if we've really improved. That's all I'm going to say.
Look at how the league has changed. We're thinking about it this morning.
I understand all that, but we are so excited right now because we beat UCF and we beat Mississippi State and we beat Kentucky. They all have losing records.
They should have beaten Tennessee on the road.
They should have, but we didn't. And I agree with that. We should have.
Yeah.
But we've beaten teams, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here. I'm just being a realist because I want us to win every game. And I had somebody text me saying I wanted us to lose games. That's the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard. It was actually on YouTube.
I get it. I know people get out of whack. Listen, I've been called the sunshine pumper, and all of a sudden I write a few negative things. Now I'm a negative guy, so I don't worry about what fans think, and you don't either. You know the game, you follow the game, and you know what you're talking about. Listen, substantive comment and writing is hard to find. You go on the internet and you take this is not political, a picture of Donald Trump working at McDonald's, and you look at this has got to be a fake picture. You don't know what to believe. With Shane and with Buddy, what we say is what you get, what we think. We don't make it up. And I'm just really happy to see that something has happened to this football team, and happy to see there is a place for young talent. And I think there's a whole different attitude about this team. Listen, this is going to be really interesting. As you say, really interesting couple of weeks coming up. Playing Texas, playing Georgia, playing LSU, playing Ole Miss. I've got my own opinions about which one of those teams Florida has to beat to get to 500. They beat FSU. We talked about it on my show last night. These are good teams, like you say. The quarterbacks are really good. Defense is good, and that's what wins games in November. Your quarterback and your defense. So I'm going to call it right now and say the team I think they have the best chance to beat is Ole Miss.
All right. So Kevin's question for me on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Wall, says, Shane, 2 things. Did you think Kentucky's line of scrimmage was better than Florida before the game? And second, how good is Texas? Okay. I didn't watch Kentucky play one game, so I assumed because of the mentality that Mark Stoops brings that their offensive line was better, or O-line and D-line was better than ours. Yes, I did. After watching them in person in that game, I don't think they were that great. I thought the back end of Kentucky's defense was horrendous, horrendous. So many busted coverages for whatever reason. Now, Texas, he says their record before the Georgia game, their opponents were 21-19. I agree, but I will tell you this. I look at teams that have dudes that can throw the football that can beat you. Texas can do that. Texas has great skill. Kentucky has not great skill players on offense. They got Barryon Brown, who's a great returner. He allowed a ball go right through his hands for interception. They're just not good on offense. That's what I look. I am so excited the Gators are playing good right now, well right now.
Don't apologize for that.
No, I'm not. I'm very excited. But again, we have to know how much we are improving when we play the big boys. And somebody over here says Florida would have gone 9-3 with Tennessee's schedule. Okay, maybe so, but we don't have their schedule. There's nothing we can do about it. I said embrace the schedule, have fun. Let's go play it. And that's what we're going to do the next few weeks. So we're kind of all over the place today, but
well, it's an exciting time right now because we see some movement and change. And by the same token, how's it going for Texas and Oklahoma? Not so well. And you look at it and say, well, there's a surprise. We thought Texas would be a little better than that. They're still talented. They didn't have a good game. Certainly, Oklahoma is a bust. They've already fired their offensive coordinator. One of these other teams is going to rise up there to the middle up to the top. I think LSU might be it. Maybe, could be.
But LSU's quarterback's really good and they got good skill.
Yeah,
this is what's funny to me. And I'm not taking a shot at Mike here on Facebook Live, but I hear this all the time. We should have beaten a Vol team who beat Bama and Kentucky, barely lost to Georgia. We can beat Georgia.
Yeah, no, they did play, and I don't know, they could, yeah. I mean, 13-12 game.
But every game is different.
I get it, but that's all.
There's no comparison.
Well, Ole Miss, they did beat Ole Miss, so Florida can beat Ole Miss.
Did. But that doesn't mean we can beat Ole Miss just because.
No, but I think it's all we have to go. It's all we have to go on what the results. So there's so much football, so many things to keep up with. I have a hard time remembering who's in the league for crying out loud. But hey, Shane, have you watched? I don't do much X's and O's. That's your department. But have you watched this show, Read and React, with Rowan Harper and Cole Kubelik?
No,
it's the best.
Never heard of it.
Well, you need to watch it once in a while. It's on Ad for Feinbaum.
I don't watch Feinbaum. I'm never home during that time of the day.
All right. Well, you have a Shane. Don't give me an excuse. You can tape things.
Yeah, I could tape it, but buddy, I don't tape shows. I watch a few sporting events and that's it.
Okay, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm not a big X's and O's guy, but this group of guys, these guys, Cole Kubelik and Rowan Harper,
they're good.
They break it down and make it simple and enjoyable, and they give some great stuff on that show. Listen, my wife doesn't know anything about football. She even likes it. But it's I think this is one of the best shows on TV about football. If you want to see them break down a game, they do it really well. I highly recommend it if you like football and you want to explain to you. The only way I have it explained to me is when Shane explains it to me, is you watch this show. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, X's and O's ain't hard. It's just about going out and executing. Florida Crackers, the brand for original Floridians, great fruit and southern hospitality in the center of the universe. Brooksville, Florida, floridacracker.com. Text on the Titan Mark text line from our buddy Chris in Mayaca. He says, Shane, both Florida and Georgia have bye weeks this week. Georgia will be well prepared. I'm sure Kirby and Muschamp are going to find our weaknesses. Hopefully we can clean those up during the off week. Yeah, they'll be ready to play. We'll be ready to play too. Wolf Gator says Shane is at the golf course hitting birdies during that time. No, I don't play during the week usually. Too busy, got too much going on. Coaching Corner said great show with Cole and Roman. I would assume it would because they know what they're doing for sure.
Just called Read and React.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, do they have stuff up on the board and rewinding it?
They break down the game.
Do they say that they should have done this or should have done that? Or
yes.
See, I have nothing against them, but I have a problem when people do that because it's easy to sit behind a controller after you've seen the result 25 times and say, should have done that, should have done that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think Roman approaches it differently. He approaches like, here's what you're taught. Why didn't
Oh
this
yeah,
work? You never
yeah.
take here. And I think Cole just knows blocking. Who talks about
Oh,
offensive?
they're talking about scheming and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking
Good.
about technique too. It's really good.
Yeah. All right, buddy, who you got for the World Series?
I haven't made a pick. I hate to pick the Yankees, but I guess I'm going to have to. I watched the playoffs. Did you watch any of it? Probably not, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
tell you a couple of interesting stats I found, Shane. And nobody follows baseball on this show. I know, and I do a little bit. I don't follow it a lot, but there's some amazing things that have gone on with baseball in recent weeks. If you're not watching it, you're missing some great talent and fun to watch. Here's what let me find my baseball notes here real quick. All right. I guess that's on this footless game. All right. Dodgers, Mets, and Yankees payrolls. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yankees, 320.6 million. The most in baseball? No. The Mets, 323.2 million more. And the Dodgers, 326 million.9. That's what's being spent on payroll for baseball. Ohtani is batting .818 in his last 22 at bats with runners in scoring position. Not slugging or opposing, he has hit 18 hits and 22 at bats. 18 hits and 22. Amazing stuff. He's an amazing player. It's going to be in a good series. Anytime the Yankees are in, it's a good series, I think. So I haven't made a pick, but I probably will tonight, tomorrow night on my show. Who are you picking?
I don't really care. I don't like either one of them because both of them are the best team money can buy. Um,
Well, Shane, you can't go through life not picking out a team, not picking a team because you don't like them.
well,
You're a
I don't really care when it comes to Major League
some of your
Baseball. I like the
fans.
Braves. I grew up a Braves and
No,
Cardinals
they're
fan.
not in it, Shane. They're not in it.
Well, I don't like the Yankees, so I will take the Dodgers.
All right.
Yeah.
That's like how people vote for presidents. I don't like this person, so I'm voting for that one.
Well, I mean that's kind
I
of it's the
know
same way.
that's basically how we do
Whatever
it.
you vote for whatever's best for you.
There's no doubt about it. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Whatever's best for you is what you should do.
Yeah.
That's the way I believe. All right, buddy, who you got on your program tonight?
Well, tonight it's Lauren Meadows' program. He's got David Whitley and the guys on tonight. They always have a good show. And I'll be doing the show, and I will be, hopefully, if your producer sends me a clip, I'll have that on from this show tonight on the program. And we'll do our usual thing. The show's going great. Thanks to everybody supporting it, and you especially on Monday nights. So I want to leave you with this thought. If you had a choice to watch a team that was playing for a championship, or a choice to watch a team that was competitive but had superstars in the making, you get to watch them grow up and play, which would you like to see?
Give me that question one more time.
You have a choice between, obviously, you have to be competitive in both. Seeing a team compete for the SEC division or no divisions, you're competitive in the SEC, or a team that is somewhat competitive with superstars of the future developing right in front of your eyes, which one would you rather watch?
Well, if we're competing for the SEC, I'd go with that one. And here's the reason why I say that. Because college football has changed.
How so?
Well, your superstars, you have no idea if they're going to be you're a superstar on your team the following year is one reason. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So I
Yeah.
think it's what's in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't, and maybe I'm in the minority here. And I'm not talking about just I'm talking about any team here.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many good young players across the country that go to another school the next year. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, whether they're getting more money, they don't like the coach, they want to move closer to home, whatever it is. I don't think you can worry about the future anymore, quite honestly. That's my personal opinion, whether it's right or wrong.
Beyond this week or beyond this year, which one do you mean?
I meant more like for next year because you don't have any idea what your roster is going to be the following year.
True.
I mean, even Alabama, even Georgia. I mean, Kirby loses guys. He brings in guys too. Ohio State. I mean, think about a couple of Ohio State's best players. One's from Ole Miss, one's a freshman from Miami. I mean, out of high school, and then the running back from Ole Miss, and then a DB from Alabama. So I I just I wish there was a way you could lock kids in like you used to without the transfer portal, but you can't nowadays.
Shane, did you ever hear of Curt Flood?
Who?
Curt Flood.
I don't think so.
Baseball player. Changed sports forever as the first free agent for the Cardinals. He became a free agent. People said it's destroying baseball. He's going to be able to sign with any team he wants to sign. We all hated it. Oh my gosh, they're going to have free agency now. His team's not going to be it. Listen, I come from an era when if the roommate of your favorite player got traded, you're ready to storm the Capitol. It's just, that's not how it was. So he played forever. Look what free agency has done for baseball. As much as you may be unhappy about it, let me finish. Look at it and see. And I didn't like it, but I got to tell you, it's been phenomenal because one thing, it puts your team back in play at any time. When they want to write a check, they can do that. This has been a hard road to go. It's hard to hold on to values in the sport now because of how the game is played. I mean, Cormani McClain may be a fabulous story of redemption. I hope he is. I love what he did, but he may be gone next year. Shane, if you had a chance, maybe you might have gone too, but your dad said no. In the Matthews family, we finished what we started, and you stayed on in Florida, and you got rewarded. But that's not how it's done today.
Right. So that's my point is none of us, even though we have DJ, we have Jaden Ball, we have these other young guys.
Right.
We have no idea if they're going to be wearing an orange helmet next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'm going with this.
I get it. I have a friend whose son was a coach in the SEC who said, and he was a young coach, and he said, what are we going to do? This whole thing now with the transfer portal and NIL is going to kill my son's team. He's not going to have a chance to compete. And I said, the portal giveth and the portal taketh away. You got just a chance to go and get somebody, okay?
That's my point. That's why I say we have great young players, but that doesn't mean we can't bring in other players at their positions next year. That's why I can't worry about next year. I can't worry about 2 years from now.
I'm with you on
All
that.
you can worry about is what's going on right now.
I'm with you, but let me just say one other thing. When I see things like what I saw at the Gator Walk, and I see Lagway's dad out there watching every kid and hugging every player, all right, to support him. The Lagway family has been phenomenal how they've helped recruit for this team. And this is what you put a premium on loyalty, on people who believe in team, family, values. It can go the other way for you, but you need a DJ Lagway to make it work.
Yeah, well, yeah, but my point of it is DJ's here right now. Enjoy it while you have him.
I think he'll play in Florida.
Well, I hope so, but money talks in today's world.
Well, he could probably got more money to go somewhere else instead of
Florida.
Well,
A&M wanted him bad, no question.
So he didn't about money for him.
All right, buddy, we got to get out of here. Have a good day, my friend.
All right, thank you, Shane.
We're going to take a quick time out. We come back. We're going to have a shorter version of today's program, but we're going to come back and wrap things up. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, Titan MRI, Meldon Law, Peachland Dental, QC Kinetics, Campus USA Credit Union, Dave & Buster's. Gridiron sponsors, Comfort Temp, UF Bookstores, Quality Plumbing, Silverback Concrete, Rules Ogra State Farm, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, F45, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Miapa Latin Cafe, Gator Bait Media, Aikido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, MG&A Wealth, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Nest and Wild, Florida Victorious, Electronics World. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Electronics World, integration and design specialist for smart home automation and entertainment, affordable local installation service and support. Check them out at electronicsworld.net. Thanks to Buddy Martin for joining us on the Titan More Hotline. Tim said on Facebook Live, free agency is in college football. That is true, but it's different in the National Football League because it's year to year. In the NFL, you're signing multi-year deals where you can't bounce around after each year. So, again, what I was trying to say is we don't know if any or all players on the roster this year will be wearing orange and blue next year. You have no way of knowing that. And so we'll see what happens. And again, I will be getting a million texts today about that conversation. And I did not say that so-and-so was leaving or so-and-so was coming. I did not say that. I'm just trying to lay it out there that there are always possibilities since we have no rules. So anyway, that's going to do it for today's program. We got to cut today's program short. Tomorrow we'll have JC here. We'll do some Peachland Dental picks. And have a great day, folks. And take care.